you guys. Today we are going to study articles. We all know that there are three articles in English: a, an, and the. Out of these, a and an are indefinite articles, whereas the is the definite article. Let's study some rules that where to use a, an, and the. First of all, we are going to see the indefinite articles that are a and an. First of all, we use a and an before countables in the singular number. For example, a train, a question, a player. And if we talk about an, we say an uncle, an umbrella, an experiment. Always remember, we can use a and an only with the nouns in the singular number. We use a before a countable in the singular number beginning with a consonant sound, and we use an before a countable in the singular number beginning with a vowel sound. These two rules are very important. What are vowels? The vowels are 5 letters out of all the alphabets in the English language, which are A, E, I, O, and U. These 5 are the vowels. And if any word is beginning with any vowel sound, then we use an before that word. For example, an artist. The word artist begins with A, which is a vowel. That is why we use an over here. And if we talk about building, it begins with a consonant because all the letters besides the 5 vowel letters are the consonants. So with building we use a. So it is a building, a platform, a lecture. And in an we have an aunt, an apple, an instrument, an artist, etc. But if I say a European, you must be thinking that European, it starts with E. And E is a vowel. But still I am using a with this. This is because when you pronounce the word European, you say European. And it's starting with U sound. Y sound, and Y is a consonant. That is why you use a European. In the same way, a uniform policy. In this, again, uniform, it is giving the sound of U, which is a consonant. That is why we use a uniform policy. In the same way, for example, I have to fill in the blank dash honest person. In this, the honest spelling is Honest. The word H is a consonant, but still I am filling the blank with an honest person because you pronounce it as honest, and O, it is a, what is it? Vowel, right? So that is why we will be using an with this. And also, this is a thing of concern that in the degrees such as an MA, an MLA, we use an only. With MLAs, MAs, etc., we use an always. In honest and honorable, H is not sounded, so these words begin with a vowel sound. In MA, M is sounded as MEM, so it begins with a vowel sound. That is also a reason why these MLAs, MAs, they are given the an before them. Now, let's see the definite article, that is the. The is a definite article. We have to use it before a noun whenever we want to make it particular, when you want to specify something. For example, the train by which I came. There are a lot of trains in this whole world, but you are only talking about the train from which you come, by which you come. So you use the train. Second example, the information I received. You get a lot of information in your whole day, but you are talking about the information which you received. You give a lot of information to someone, you get a lot of information, but you are talking about the information which you receive. So it would be the information I received. Okay. Third example also, the books I usually read. In this, there are a lot of books with you in your library, in your home, but you are only talking about the books which you usually read. That is why you use the article the over here. The books I usually read. The can be used both with the countables and the uncountables, and it can be used with the countables both in the singular number and in the plural number also, like we have used with train, which is singular, and books, that is plural. Secondly, we use the with a noun that has already been mentioned. For example, listen to me very carefully. Okay, I got a camera and a watch as birthday presents. The watch is beautiful, but the camera doesn't click. So in this, you have first of all mentioned the camera and the watch. And in the same sentence, you are mentioning the watch and the camera again. So first time, in the first sentence, you will first of all write a camera, a watch. But when you are mentioning the same again, then you will write the watch, the camera. We say a camera and a watch because when we mention them for the first time, they could be any camera and any watch. But after being mentioned once, they get particularized. So when we mention them again, we have to use the with them. Third rule, we use the when it is clear from the situation which people or things we mean. For example, if you are talking about the principal of your school, then he is a particular person at a particular place. So that is why you write the principal is taking a round of the school. May I use the telephone? And these are some particular things, some obvious things like may I use the telephone, the principal, the school. Okay, now the fourth one, we use the with superlatives. You all have listened about adjectives. In that you have 3 degrees. Out of them, the superlative degree like biggest, smallest, brightest, most beautiful. In this you have the superlative degree. So in this, before the superlative degree, use the. Like, this is the brightest star in the sky. This was the most hilarious act, etc. Also, we use the with the phrases such as immediately single out or specify a person or object. For example, the first building, the only child, the last day, the same pen, the next candidate, the chief aim. Basically, they are something very particular. Okay, like if you talk about the same pen, you are having a pen, a Nataraj pen, and you want the same pen. You will not write a same pen, you will write the same pen because that thing is already mentioned in one context. Next rule is, we use the with a common noun when all noun represents the whole class. For example, the donkey is a beast of burden. In this, donkey, the whole class of donkey, it is not talking about any one particular donkey. There are a lot of donkeys in this world, right? So it is talking about all the donkeys, that the donkey is a beast of burden. Secondly, let's talk about one more example. The cow feeds on grass. This is so all the cows, they feed on grass. It is not like that one cow is eating grass, one cow is eating meat. No, cow cannot eat meat. So the cow feeds on grass. It means it is talking about the whole class of the cows. Next rule, we use the when there is only one of something, when there is something unique. For example, earth, moon, sun, sky, equator, north pole, east, west. Basically, all the celestial bodies, directions, and places like North Pole, South Pole, equator, you use the. For example, the equator divides the earth into two hemispheres, the North Pole and the South Pole. The sun shines over the North Pole for 6 months and not for the 6 months. In this way, you can write. The nouns we have mentioned above are often described as nouns of unique reference. So, also, the 8th rule, which I'm going to tell you now, is very, very important. For example, with the name of rivers like the Brahmaputra, the Godavari, use the with them. With the names of seas and oceans like Arabian Sea and Atlantic Ocean, you write the, like the Arabian Sea, the Atlantic Ocean. With mountain ranges, the Aravalis, the Vindhyas. With holy books like the Gita, the Quran, etc. With the names of trains, ships, aeroplanes. For example, the Shatabdi Express, the Ashoka. Okay, these are the names of trains, ships, and aeroplanes. Next, with the newspapers like the Times of India, the Indian Express, the Times of Hyderabad, the Statesman, etc. With well-known buildings, for example, the Red Fort, the Lotus Temple. Countries, for example, you do not use the with all the countries. You use the with only some particular countries like the USA, the United States of America, the UK. Okay, because it is used with united, right? That is why. So countries, if the name contains a common noun, because the word states and kingdom are common nouns. And next, with the whole families like the Gandhis, the Khans, the Sharmas. Okay, now the 9th one, we use the with adjectives when those adjectives are used as nouns. Okay, so laws should be fair to the lucky as well as the unlucky. In this also, the lucky, it is representing the whole class of lucky people or lucky situations, and the unlucky is representing the whole class of the unlucky people or the unlucky situations. Secondly, the second example is there should be equal opportunities for both the rich and the poor, and in this the rich is expressing the whole class of the rich and the poor is expressing the whole class of the poor. Now, note the use of the in the following. The more, the merrier. The nearer the church, the farther from God. Eggs are sold by the dozen. Petrol is sold by the liter. So basically these things in this, the is compulsory. Now listen to the sentence I am saying very carefully. A more, a merrier. Is it looking nice? No. Jitna zyada, utna acha. It means the more, the merrier. That is why I use the over here. Next rule is, we say go to the cinema, the theater. Why? Because these things are something particular. Every place can't be a theater. If you are watching a movie, that place is not a theater. That is why you say the cinema, the theater. I often go to the theater, but I haven't been to the cinema for a long time. We usually say the radio, but television is used without the. Just remember this, that you can say the radio, but with television, the article is never used. Now the next rule is, note the use of the in the following expressions. On the one hand, on the other hand, to speak the truth, to play the sitar, to read in the original. In this, you cannot write on other hand. So when you speak a sentence, you get to know that the will be used here, will be used here, but still you need to know all the rules. So I have told you all the rules. Now we are going to do the omission of articles. We normally do not use any article. Basically, when, Firstly, when a noun is used in the general sense. For example, you say, man is mortal. This sentence means that one or another day the man is going to end. Yes, so we are talking of man in the general sense, that yes, man is mortal. That is why if you're talking about any general sense, then you will not use the, and anything. Second, with nouns that say name materials. For example, paper has become very expensive. You will write, the paper has become very expensive. Or you will write, she made a heavy investment in the gold. No, these are some material nouns. That is why you will never use the and anything with the materials like paper, gold, if it is not needed. But when these nouns are particularized, we use the with them. For example, the paper used in this book is of superior quality. In this, the paper used in this book means a paper of a particular book is being talked about. So that is why if the paper is particularized, then you need to use the with them. Now, the third, with plural nouns when they denote a class. For example, children have a fertile imagination. Animals can also be friendly. In this, the children and animals, they denote a class. The children, they denote the whole class of children. If you are saying that children have a fertile imagination, then you are saying that all the children, they are having a fertile imagination. Now, next, with the names of meals. Like, you don't say the lunch, the breakfast, the dinner. You only say breakfast, lunch, dinner. She invited all her friends to lunch. Dinner should be taken before bedtime. Now the next. With the names of diseases. See, there are few diseases with which you don't use any article, but with a few diseases like measles, mumps, you use the articles. Okay. So if you are using the disease in the sentence measles, mumps, then you write the. For example, quite a few children suffer from the mumps because mumps and measles, they bring changes to a large part of your body. That is why the is used with them. But typhoid and malaria, in these diseases, you will not use any article with them. You will write simply, malaria is no longer a killer disease. In a type of sentence I am telling you. Now the next one. With languages and branches of knowledge. For example, English, Hindi, history, mathematics. In this, you don't use any article with the languages, etc. For example, English is the language of the English. This is a very good example. Basically, what do you mean by the English? You will be saying that English, it is a language, so why you are using the with it? This is because the English means the English people, means the British people. Okay, so English is the language of the English. Japanese is a difficult language. Now the seventh one. With the name of days, months and seasons, you never use any article. For example, you don't write the Sunday is a holiday. You only write Sunday is a holiday. You don't write our school is closed for summer vacation in June. You don't write our school is closed for summer vacation in the June. You only write it is closed for summer vacation in June. Okay. So now always you never use any article with proper nouns. Okay, this is very, very important. I hope the topic of articles is clear to all of you. Now I am going to ask you one question related to this. You have to write in your notebooks also. Dash stray animals have become dash big nuisance on dash city roads. Just note it down. Now, let me tell you the answers. First of all, we have stray animals. Since they are plural, you cannot use a or an with them. And since they are particularized also, so you will use the with them. So, first blank will be the. Now, the stray animals have become dash big nuisance. In this, you will write a. Because nothing is particularized over here. It is just written that it is a big nuisance. on dash city roads. It is particularized that on the city roads, the stray animals have become a big nuisance. So that is why here you will use the. So the proper sentence will be, the stray animals have become a big nuisance on the city roads. I hope this is clear to you. Thank you.